this.
Down the street and several other buildings in this area have gone up in flames. And
begin with that breaking news. Violent protests in Minneapolis turned deadly.
Chaos and destruction in Minneapolis tonight as police officers and protesters clash over a man's death.
The outrage began with a video showing police arresting 46-year-old George Floyd in South Minneapolis last night.
Tell you about out of Minneapolis tonight as protesters fill the streets for a third straight night, showing their anger over the death of George Floyd, the unarmed black man killed by a white police officer.
Those firefighters still working to put out hot spots.
Overnight, Minneapolis on fire. Protesters leaving an auto parts store in flames. Others seen looting a local Target.
Today, hundreds flooded the streets at that same intersection to protest Floyd's death. They then marched to the police station where the officers who arrested Floyd worked.
Thousands packed the area for the protest at 5 o'clock, but were also spread out to remain socially distant.
They gathered hours before, furious at the death of 46-year-old George Floyd.
When is it really going to change? When is it really going to stop?
The outrage building nationwide.
Tension continues to boil over in Minneapolis as Governor Tim Walz activated the state's National Guard tonight. Businesses continue to be looted, some set on fire, parts of the city looking like a war zone, all in response to the death of 46-year-old George Floyd.
Down the street and several other buildings in this area have gone up in flames, and I'm sure there's several other hot spots around town just like this. Tough images to watch right here. There's looting going on at several businesses. Police.
Los Angeles overnight, Black Lives Matter protesters blocked a major freeway. This man jumped on a police cruiser as it sped away.
Why is the man who killed George Floyd not in jail?
6 p.m., the protest turned into a march towards the 3rd precinct, where it is believed that the officers worked. A much smaller group than the initial protest started vandalizing the building, shattering a window, spray painting squad cars and the side of the building.
Approached one of the city's police precincts.
We're about to lose the front of the precinct if we don't move this crowd out of the front.
Officers in riot gear tried to maintain order.
Officers then showed up in riot gear and started firing tear gas and flashbangs, which you can hear going off right now, as many protesters were hurling rocks, water bottles, anything they could get their hands on.
The 3rd precinct is where the officers who were involved in the George Floyd arrest were headquartered, and for them to take over this is significant for the protesters.
We've had rocks and different type of projectiles thrown at us now last couple nights, and it's made it very challenging, and certainly our number one priority is the safety of our firefighters.
There's already so much devastation, an auto zone destroyed, and just so many buildings hollowed out with fire, and now there appears to be more tonight, which is just heartbreaking. The crowds you can see are massive, packed in, shoulder to shoulder.
When we have the situation where it's unsafe, we're just not going to. We're going to make the decision not to enter. We're just going to back away until such time it becomes a little more tenable.
28th Street appears to be the front of it on fire right now.
People are very upset tonight. It's not what was supposed to happen. He said this is an anger and spillover of what people are feeling, but this is not the right platform to express that. He said this is not the way it was supposed to end this evening.
Another building there on fire. As we mentioned at the top of this story, the Minnesota National Guard has been called into that city to try to manage this developing situation for this 3rd night.
Oh God. Yo.
And there was a report of a homicide after a person was allegedly stabbed to death during those protests. Police say one person is in custody for that.
At least one person is dead after a fatal shooting near the protest site overnight.
This came over anytime. Low key, I ain't trying to fight with the National Guard, bro. I'm going home. Fuck that shit, nigga. This shit just got real, homie. Just got really real.
Justice, bring peace.
Yeah, shit, justice just came. I'm gone. I'm telling you, I've studied this shit.
Right here, right now. Let's shit up. Let's tear shit up in the courthouse. Let's tear shit up over there.
In America, the intelligent real man. Oh, yeah. And it is time. That's the.
Some type of restaurant. They spray painted everything. Cool. They broke all the windows on here. Broke into Wendy's. They just launched. Oh, get out of here, Tammy. That's tear gas. They're hurling it back.
Okay, I'm good.
If you watched this video this far, thank you. I really appreciate the support. Want to know my honest opinion and thoughts on this? No matter who you are, if you're in a position of power, a police officer, a teacher, a healthcare worker, no matter who you are, if somebody's life can be in your hands or in jeopardy, you should be monitored like with a camera or some sort. And not only that, you should be held responsible for your actions because you're in some sort of position of power or control. You're actually authority. Like you should be like deemed even more responsible for your actions. Anybody else, no matter who they are, no matter what job they do, if they commit a crime, a felony against the law, they are charged in the court of law and they go to jail if they are a criminal. And that's the thing, is that if you're a police officer or a security guard, no matter who you are, you're a human and you should have to obey by those laws, and you should have to be prosecuted and charged just like every single other person on this planet. Equal rights, baby, and universal law states there's no difference between you or me, no matter what position of job you are in. So no matter what, if you commit a crime or a felony, you should be prosecuted and charged. Even if you're a leader or a president of a country, you should still be able to be prosecuted and charged. But what's going on in Minnesota right now is just really horrible. It's like, you know, I understand people are upset and frustrated, but there's certain ways to deal with it, and by looting and like causing fires, like innocent people's buildings and stuff, that's just not the right answer. And innocent people are also getting hurt by this, and it's just unnecessary collateral damage, and you know, it's unfortunate. My heart, my prayers go to the people in Minnesota right now. This is just horrible, and hopefully things start to change for the better. My heart and prayers go to you. Please like this video, comment down below with your thoughts and opinions, click that subscribe button for more. Stay safe, everyone. God bless you all, and take care.